Hello everyone, welcome to English Linguistics, and this is your trainer Kapil. Well, I know it has been quite a long that we have met. To be very honest, I was busy reading the reviews that I had been getting from my students and from you, of course. Of late, I received a lot of requests to make few videos from the grammar perspective. So I was thinking about creating a video series over different grammatical concepts of English, which gives us little hard time while speaking and writing. So, keeping that in mind, I would like to begin with the basic sentence structure from subject and verb standpoint. Let us try to fix the subject and verb placement. Yes, you heard me right. I would be talking about subject-verb agreement. Well, I'm quite sure that during our primary classes, we have spent decent amount of time on understanding the basics of tenses, usage of auxiliary verbs, prepositional phrases, gerunds, and infinitives. Many times, we might have found ourselves confused with the accurate usage of subject and verb together in a sentence. Many times, we might have tried to answer a question based on our gut feeling, and we end up losing a mark on that. This is quite common because understanding of sentence structure is beyond the static definitions of various grammatical components. The idea is to understand the function and usage of verbs in a sentence in accordance with subject. Now here I will simplify the concept of this agreement so that next time whenever you are writing or speaking, you are more clear and confident in English language. It will also help us to prepare for various competitive examinations as well. So let's get started. The basic rule of subject-verb agreement is that singular subject and subjects like he, she, it, they take S form of the verb like goes, shines, drinks, eats, etc. Whereas plural subjects and subjects like I, we, you, they, etc. do not take verbs with S or ES next to them. I'm sure this is pretty easy and we have read and understood this various times while doing tenses. For example, horse is singular. Therefore, we will use verb with an S like eats, drinks, runs, etc. Horses are plural. Therefore, we will use verb without adding an S, and the verb would be eat, drink, run, etc. Here, the hint would be if subject has S that makes it plural, then drop the S or ES from the verb, and if subject doesn't have S in the end, making it singular, add S or ES to the verb. Isn't this quite simple and easy to understand? Let's move forward. Next one is, do not get confused if the words come between the subject and verb. They do not intervene or change the subject-verb agreement. For example, the student who was called for the presentation is usually very brilliant. Here, we need to focus on the student only, who is our subject. Now, the prepositional phrases, even if they are between the subject and verb, they usually do not affect the agreement in a sentence. For example, the shades of this fabric are beautiful. Here, our subject is shades, not the fabric. Therefore, our verb will follow the plural form. Pay attention to that. Next one, the subject that is before a phrase which begins with the word of. This is our determining subject for that sentence. I have seen many writers and speakers making this common mistake. The sentence is, a bunch of flowers gives a life to the room. Remember, bunch gives, not flowers give. This is what I have seen many people writing or speaking. A bunch of flowers give a life to the room. They think because flowers is plural, so we need to remove S from the verb. This is wrong because our subject is bunch, not flowers. Pay attention to that. Another one is, if sentences start with words like there or here, the subject will always be placed after the verb. So pay attention to identify it appropriately. For example, take a look on these sentences. There is an issue with the current plan. Here are the documents that you were looking for. So here the subjects are getting placed after the verb. Be mindful on them. Now, if two singular subjects are connected by words like or maybe combinations like either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, the sentence will require singular verb and plural verb if the subjects are plural. For example, my brother or my sister is looking for a nice ground to play at. Neither the boys nor the girls were able to solve the maths problem. Another one, with the same set of sentences, we may have one singular subject and one plural. And if they are separated by the same set of words like or, either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, then our verb will consider the subject nearest to it. For example, pay attention. Neither the birds nor the monkey is able to find the tree. Neither the monkey nor the birds are able to find the tree. So, we can say the second subject, whether it is singular or plural, will determine the verb factor here. It is quite understood. However, since we are discussing, therefore, I would like to include this as well. That if two subjects are separated by the word and, then it becomes plural. Quite possible and quite obvious as well. So therefore, the verb would be plural. For example, English teacher and principal are working hard for annual day celebrations. This is quite simple, obvious. However, the main reason for bringing this up was to give you an insight that the verb is singular if two subjects separated by and refer to the same person or thing. For example, take a look on this one. Jeans and t-shirt is my favorite dress. This is because jeans and t-shirt talks about one complete dress. Another one could be lemon and soda is my favorite drink. So be thoughtful how the subject is separated by and play with the subject verb accordingly. Now, many times the subject is separated from the verb by words like along with, as well as, besides, not, etc. These words or phrases are never considered as the part of the subject. So overlook them and always use a singular verb whenever the subject is singular. For example, the student along with his teacher is going to the science exhibition. Enthusiasm as well as apprehension is the reason of her nervousness. So here we will follow the main subject. Whatever is accompanying, we will simply ignore that. Now, this one is very important. If the words like each, every or no, they come before the subject, the verb is always singular. For example, no honking and overtaking is allowed. Every bird and animal is equally important for the ecosystem. We have seen many people goofing up on these sentences and follow plural verb form, and this is wrong. Be mindful for such occurrences. It is quite simple, but we often forget. Now, remember that the singular verb form is usually used for units of measurement like distances, periods of time, sums of money, etc. For example, 5 kilometers is the distance between my house and my school. Now, even if it is kilometers, we will still consider it singular. And this one is tricky and hence important to discuss. If we have indefinite pronouns like somebody, everybody, nobody, etc., then normally consider singular verbs. For example, everybody is late today. Yes, there are few exceptions like few, many, several, both, etc., which always follow the plural verb form. For example, few were called to the office during COVID lockdown. Give special attention to such cases. Now, when we talk about collective nouns like class, team, group, bunch, jury, family, audience, population, and whatever you can possibly think of. Then we have to follow singular verbs. This one is something that we are quite aware of, isn't it? A common example would be the class was making noise when the teacher entered. This was very obvious, we already know, just thought of bringing this up. Now, another one is something that I have read over the internet, and we might have read this over various books. This says that even if the titles of books, movies, play talk about plural subject, but our verb would always be singular. For example, The Expendables is a great animation movie. Now, even if Expendables is a plural, but we will go with the movie, which is singular. That was pretty much about the subject-verb agreement standpoint, folks. I hope this session was informative and helped you to get something better and some better versions over the language, communication, and writing perspective. This session will definitely help you to know your own mistake and you can correct them by yourselves. So learn and spread the learning. When we spread the knowledge, our brain retains it and the learning stays with us. That's why I always say, pass the learning to the people you may know. Needless to mention that, do like, share and subscribe to my channel to stay connected with me. I will definitely talk to you soon. This was your trainer Kapil. Cheers everyone. Take care of yourself.